What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bartlett Arborist Supply. In today's video, we're going to take a look at configuring the Texas Tug crown, canopy, whatever one you want to do. I like calling it a canopy anchor. That's how I came to know it. So it's the Texas Tug canopy anchor. So now what we've done here is our rope is already installed through a suitable branch union to able to handle the forces we're about to place on it from climbing and such. What I did do is before I sent my rope up, I installed a ring. So I have a ring on the retrieval leg side, my climb side is over here, and I'm gonna install an alpine butterfly with a ring in it. So, you know, here's our alpine, and I choose to use the hardware. I don't wanna have that rope on rope, which with the Texas Tug, you really don't as much. Okay, so step one, alpine butterfly with the ring. Step two, we're gonna take our end here, our working end that we're going to use, and feed it through the ring. So it should look like this. This is a standard canopy anchor with an alpine butterfly and a ring. However, to take this a step further, we're going to add, I like doing it at about a foot maybe below the first alpine. And I'm going to tie a second alpine butterfly. All right, so just like that, and I'm gonna do it with a pinto pulley and a DMM Ultra O. Now, this is where you could use you don't need to have these two things. You could use just a carabiner. You could use a carabiner with a roller on it already or a pulley. However, something that I've experienced myself was that carabiner will float around, especially if there's no if it does not have a capture. Right, it'll float around through the alpine butterfly as you're climbing, moving around. It floats, and it may shift on you, which it did to me, and it shifted in a way where I was experiencing more drag. Well, not as much as a rope on rope, but I was experiencing drag, and I didn't care for it that way. So I always choose to do it with this. It keeps the pinto from shifting around, and it's always right there. So, carabiner onto the alpine loop. Pinto pulley I need to own. Oh, goes through the climbing leg of rope, and now it should look just like this. Okay, first alpine, pinto down low. What we're gonna do here is send it all the way up. Keep an eye at your rope as you go up. There are times where your crown anchor up top is so high up that you might not have enough rope to be able to retrieve. Like right now, it's barely enough where it's just floating above ground. So if you came across a situation where your anchor point is so high up that this starts to travel up, remember, you can always clip a throw line to this, or you can take another rope, marry them together via carabiner, or whatever knot you like to do to combine two ropes. This instance, I'm a big fan of the Zeppelin bend, so I would use a Zeppelin bend if I didn't have a carabiner, or just double fisherman at the end of that carabiner, clip to the second splice of this rope. So this is my retrieval leg, and what I'm going to do is, just so it's out of our way for now, I'm going to just throw it up over here and leave it be. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to go up and drop through a redirect so you can see how the system actually works upon pulling out of a redirect. Now, a traditional alpine butterfly jam canopy anchor like that with no ring, I would use something like that if my work only required going straight up and working right there without having to take a redirect. If I have to redirect at least once, I would install a ring. You're still going to experience added friction through it, but it's better than the rope on rope friction you'll experience from that, the rope on rope friction, and then the friction that the rope is from traveling over that redirect. With the ring, it reduces a little bit. With the Texas Tug, it reduces it a lot of bit, right? It reduces it a lot. I like saying that. But you're still only good for about 2. But you have to be wise on how you choose your redirect. If you choose a redirect that is that you decide to sharply bend around and drop this, you know, if you add extra bends that aren't necessary into that redirect, you're gonna have a hell of a time pulling that thing out. But okay, yeah, so I'm gonna go up, get a redirect in, And then you'll also see how that pulley underneath helps keep the rope directly in line with the ring, reducing that friction there. So there should be no friction where the rope is through the ring. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. But yeah, let's do this. Okay, so as I mentioned, it came and dropped through a redirect over here. Texas Tug is above me. Now, what you're gonna see is, as I'm pulling down, the rope being fed into the ring will be straight, and the pulley will allow us to reduce that friction, that rope on rope friction, and it'll aid us as the rope pulls out of the redirect. So we'll still have the friction in of the branch union here with the rope, but hopefully with the pulley, it helps reduce it a little bit, okay? But now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down and we'll begin the pull so you can see how it retrieves. All right, I'm out. Later. And now comes the good stuff. All right. So right now it should be relatively easy to pull until I hit that deviation, friction from the deviation. So here, I'm able to pull this out. The redirect I chose is still pretty wide open that I can still pull, and it keeps that rope in line. Now that we're at ground level, we initially started pulling the redirect out at the top. Now what I was trying to get at also was, in the event where I encountered more resistance than usual, which I can still pull this down relatively easy, but if I did encounter resistance, I can either foot lock it a little bit and then put my weight into it, or if I'm a little tired from my arms, I still have my foot ascender on. Okay, so all I do is just use my leg muscle there, my leg power, and just continue to pull this down until it no longer is hard to pull. So usually when you pop through the first redirect, then it gets a lot easier. Here now, stand clear. All right. I'm able to pull this down, but so the point is to it, redirect over here, and as this comes down, the pulley aids us and helps, and also allows the rope to be in a direct path with no other deviation or friction encounter. But this has been the Texas Tug. Hopefully it helps you out. Make sure to check us out at bartlettman.com, or you can Google us, Bartlett Arborist Supply. Don't forget to hit that like and the subscribe button, and check out the rest of the content. See you on the next one.